Good afternoon everybody, welcome along to my day one Aintree preview. Obviously it is Tuesday today, the Aintree Grand National Festival is just around the corner now. In 48 hours time we will be well underway in Liverpool, building up to the big race at the weekend, as well as going through some very good cards throughout the rest of the week. The Thursday card, the Friday card, as well as the Saturday card, the main event. We were talking about today the Thursday card. It's a fantastic card. There's so many good races on here. Obviously, the Fox Hunters Chase over the national course. You've got the Manifesto Chase, a good novice chase. The Betway Bowl, obviously, for the more 3-mile chaser. The Aintree Hurdle for 2.5 miles over the hurdles. The Red Run, and also that puzzle of a handicap, which is the Red Run Chase as well, which I'll be going through all 5 of them races today. And we'll be kicking off with the Manifesto Novices Chase. This is absolutely, in my opinion, this is quite hot. And it's led by the market suggests that actually the favourite in this race is Warren Great Tricks' mare, Labago Wire at 2-1. Mick Shannon's Glen Forza, who unseated in the Arkle at 5-2. As did Kalashnikov, who unseated in the Arkle as well at 3-1. Harry Fry's Bags Groove 7-1. Mengele Carnates. Spirit of the Game, so Harry Skelton, who ran a great race at Cheltenham previously at 10s. And it's 12-1 bar the rest. It looks to me as if it's going to be a 3-horse race between the 3 at the top of the market. Labago Wire at 2s, Glen Forza 5-2 and Kalashnikov at 3s. It's a very hot race. Obviously, the 2 in behind, Glen Forza and Kalashnikov, both didn't complete in the Arkle. Both fell down the back straight throughout the race. Would they have won the race? It remains to be. It's obviously unknown, of course, but I definitely think they would have both ran big races. Kalashnikov was being built up towards that race. Obviously, ran a couple of stinkers early on in the season. Had been absolutely slammed at Sandown by Glen Forza prior to running at the festival, and he hasn't shown much form this season. Going back left-handed again, though, Going back left-handed though suggests that he's definitely a horse who prefers going that way, and the flat course round Aintree might play into his strengths. But for me, looking at the Labago Wire, she's a really good mare, and I think she'll take all the beat in this race. I think Warren Great Tricks is going to have a finely tuned for this race, and if it's Richard Johnson who's booked to ride, I definitely think they will take all the beat in here. Glen Forza again can pose a big threat here, but for me, Labago Wire will take all the beat in this race, and I think will win just a shade cosily as well. Moving to the Betway Bowl, obviously it's just a good race here. A couple of horses who ran in the Gold Cup recently. It's only a few runners in this race. About 5 or 6 runner field in this race. So, but I've got a few of the Gold Cup representatives here coming back after that run at Cheltenham, and it's led in the market by the 15-8 favourite Clanders Oboe, the King George winner, and Gold Cup 5th. Ken Boy won seat at the first in the Gold Cup at 5-2. Bristol de May ran a fantastic race at a big price at Cheltenham at 3-1. Road to Respect at 5s. Elegant Escape, who finished down the field at Cheltenham, is 20-1. And the rank outsider in this race is Balco de Flo for Ireland and Gigginstown at 33-1. People might look at this race and think straight away it should be an easy win for Clanders Oboe. Probably didn't really see out the trip in the Gold Cup, did he? And perhaps a switch back to 3 miles on the flatter course like he did at Kempton will probably come into his favour a little bit more. I look at Bristol de May, or de May, however you pronounce it. He ran a fantastic race at Cheltenham and definitely silenced all the doubts, suggest that he's not just a Haydock course. Has won the Betway Bowl before and comes into this race at 3-1. Looks a very good price. I think we'll run a big race again. Ken Boy at 5-2 is the interesting one for me. Obviously unseated at the first in the Gold Cup. A quick turnout here again, only a couple of weeks on from that for Willie Mullins. Suggests that the horse is fine after that little incident and will definitely fancy his chances here. Bristol de May, I think, will run a big race in this race. Obviously, Road to Respect in there. The Welsh National winner, Elegant Escape at 20-1. I think he might want a bit more of a softer surface to maybe run into a big race here. I think this ground might be a little bit on the quick side for him, and he might want a little bit more of a softer surface to really turn it into a stamina sapping contest. I think at 20-1 he's fairly priced there. And I think Balco de Flo at 33s will probably look to try and set the pace and set it up for the other ones. I think Clanders Oboe wins this race again. Again, another favourite tipped here. Not always my favourite thing, but I think a flat course 3 miles back down in trip again will suit him as well. Obviously won the Denman Chase at the rearranged Ascot on a much more flatter surface. He's much better on a flatter surface. I think Harry Cobden will ride him very quietly out the back. I'm sure Bristol de May will be up top trying to dictate the race as well. Ken Boyd probably sitting behind as well, but I think Clanders Oboe's got a wonderful engine, the younger horse on him, and I think he'll come through right at the end under Harry Cobden, ping the last and go away quite classy and win this race quite cosily as well. Moving into the Aintree Hurdle now, this is another red hot race as well, isn't it? We've got the Bouvedere, who fell in Champion Hurdle, was the defending champion, was looking to try and make it 3 Champion Hurdles in a row. He didn't make that, unfortunately. He fell down the back straight. He leads the market at 10-11. Faheen, who ran a big race in the World Hurdle at 9-2. Melanie running the champion hurdle at 6s. Super Sunday running the world hurdle as well. Didn't run too badly there at 9s. The county hurdle winner Chittabello at 14 to 1. Silver Streaker who ran a massive race at like 80 to 1. The champion hurdle to finish 3rd. He's at 16s. Somerville Boy last year's Supreme winner at 16 to 1. Verdana Blue, who didn't run too great at Cheltenham, probably because of the ground, at 20 to 1. And Brain Power with Nick Henderson rank outside a double carpet at 33 to 1. So looking at this race here, it's a quite open, contested race. Boover there's been backed all the way in for now. He's been backed in from 5 to 2 to 10 to 11. So it suggests there's been a bit more money for him there. And he looks like he'll probably go on to win this race, I think. Looking down the field though at big prices, I'm interested in looking at horses like Verdana Blue, who you can really draw a line for that champion hurdle run last time. On soft ground, it's not really a soft ground horse. Did beat Boover there at Kempton prior to that though, and did get beat by a good horse called Gumball at Kempton on the all-weather prior to running in the champion hurdle. But I think on a flatter surface, on much more quicker ground as well, she might run a big race at a big price. Also look at horses like Chittabello and Silver Streak at 14 to 16 to 1, who I think can both run well again. Chittabello won the county hurdle, part of that big gamble for the Skeltons, while Silver Streak ran a massive race in the champion hurdle, as I said before. He really ran well there, outran his odds. Probably the ground might have gone in his favour a little bit there, but another horse who's got a good little bit of turn of foot on his day and can run a big race. Super Sunday in the World Hurdle kind of faded away in the World Hurdle. He's up there coming into the straight, but he just faded away, didn't he? Probably didn't see out the trip in that. Dropped back to 2.5. Might see him run a very good race in the Aintree Hurdle. But for me, I think Booth there will win this race. Looking down the field, as I said, I think they expect a big run from 3 horses in there: Chittabello, Silver Streak, and the Verdana Blue, all each way. Not much value each way, but all 3 at a big price could run very, very well. Moving into the Fox Hunters Chase now. Fantastic, another good race here. Some good horses in here who we all know quite well, who've run in the National before and running some big races before. Burning Ambition leads the way at 4 to 1. Fox Hunters at Cheltenham, the runner up there, road to Rome for 9 to 2 for Sam Whaley Cohen. Uccello Conti at 6 to 1. Cruz Linen at 7 to 1. Cad de Burle won the Caspian Caviar Gold Cup a few years ago for Paul Nichols at 10 to 1. Mr Mix 12s. Seafood 12s. Top Wood, who come 3rd at Cheltenham, and the Fox Hunters at 12s. Road to Riches, who come 6th in last year's National at 14 to 1, and it's 16 to 1 bigger the rest. Looking here, straight away I'm drawn to the 2 Gordon Elliott horses there, Uccello Conti and Cruz Linen. Both got good form over the National fences, and both do like the National course as well. Cruz Linen and Uccello Conti are both running a few Nationals respectively. Both ran okay, to be fair, both have completed before, although Uccello Conti did fall in last year's National when still going quite well on the 2nd circuit at the one after Valentine's. But in my opinion, I think Uccello Conti will win this race. I think Jamie Cobb didn't give him the best of rides at Cheltenham in the Fox Hunters in March. He sat too far back, in my opinion, come flying up to stay on to finish quite well placed in the end. But had he got a little bit further up, close to the pace, he might have finished a bit better off and might have even been involved towards the end. I think the front 3 were tiring. They've both all been on the front end for 3.5 miles, quite a stern stamina test. And I think Uccello Conti will run a big race. Look down the field. Road to Riches, 12-year-old, finished 6th in last year's National. 14 to 1 for Dave Maxwell, and then red and chocolate colours. I think he'll run a massive race at a big price. Another horse who's got good national form, and I think he'll run a very nice race indeed. So for me, I think Uccello Conti will win this race, and I think Road to Riches at each way will be very, very nice value. And moving into the final race of the preview, the Red Rum Chase here. Azuri leads the way 7 to 1. Magic Saint 8 to 1. Clondor Castle 8 as well. Breland Dars 8s, Diego de Charmille 10s, Lady Buttons 10s, Thayan Val 10s, 12 to 1 bar those. I'm straight away here drawn to Lady Buttons. Didn't run a great race in the Mares Hurdle, in behind Dan Skelton's Roxana, who was fortunate to win that race. But I think this, talking to, obviously hearing from Phil Kirby, obviously, he was looking to try and run this very classy mare over fences at Aintree this time around. I think at 10 to 1, she's got a wonderful chance. Also, looking down the field there, you've got horses like Breland Dar, who I did back at Cheltenham in the Grand Annual, I think it was. She finished 3rd under Bryony Frost. I think she'll run a big race. I think them 2 will probably be my picks to go and run, to probably even try and win the race, or good each way value in that race as well. I think Lady Button's a very classy mare on her day, has good fences form as well, and I think Breland Dars will run a big race as well. So there's my Aintree Day 1 preview. If you did enjoy it, hit the thumbs up button, comment as well, subscribe, and we'll see you all for Day 2 preview next time.